Oh, well, I had an interruption there. Ramakrishna just made it over to Chandigarh. Chandigarh is like the capital of Punjab, and it's a beautiful city. And they're doing Bhakti Daitya Madhava Maharaj and Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha. Their group is incredible. They're spending so much money in glorification of different sadhus. Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Maharaj is the primary sadhu this time. Last year they spent more than $1 million, more than $1 million, just to do a program for the sadhus. They had more than 40,000 people eating 3 times a day. They had a pandal that the heaviest wind could come and could not blow it away. It was incredible, and it was wet, rainproof. You could be under there in a heavy rainstorm and a heavy wind. The anchors of the columns, which were about 15 or so, the middle part of the tent, the anchors of those columns was more than 200 kilos each one of them, just to anchor it down and make sure that it wouldn't fall down. I'm just remembering the one that they made the first time we had any function in Navadweep on the place where Premananda made the arrangement to a purchase. So the first function, the person who put the pandal didn't take into consideration wind, and the wind is very heavy there because it's a vortex, it's a crossroad. So in times like it'll every 7 days it'll just have this heavy winds, and they call them little cyclones. Well, we arrived, and at the arrival of all the devotees and everything, all of a sudden a cyclone hit, and it took down the whole tent. Yeah, the whole tent came tumbling down. Nobody got killed, but it scared some older people. You can imagine, this wind and everything, and all of a sudden this huge tent, which is heavy canvas, starts falling down. I forget how much it was. I'm trying to remember how much it cost and everything, but I can't remember. Well, it was all lost. So it had to be defunct. Defunct. But I had gone there early, so I had a list of different people that would rent to the devotees. So that started it off easier, that the devotees. And Vrinda is just incredible arranging, like personally arranging. I just went to the owners and everything and found places, but she was able to arrange everything for the devotees, so everything came out all right. So here we are. They're doing a function in Chandigarh, all the way up to the appearance of Sri Ramchandra. I don't know all the description of the function and everything, but it's amazing how much they spend. And because we are from the West, and we can't handle so many discomforts of India, so they even rented rooms in a very nice hotel for the devotees. So today is, like the 24th, right? 24th? Yeah, 24th. And then they'll have this whole function all the way up to the 28th is Sri Ram Navami. But all of a sudden I found out that there's another function in Jaladhar, and that function starts right after. This Some of these Gaudiya months are really incredible. Some of them, a lot of them. And then they're going to have another function until the 6th of April with the accommodations too. Okay, so Ramakrishna is there. I, because he always likes to do some service. So I said, go do some service for the devotees instead of you going as an invited guest, which is a burden to them. Why don't you go as a helper so that you can help them accommodate the devotees in the right way? So he's there. He tried to go yesterday. It rained too much. This is a very strange rain. This rain is the accumulation of all the water from the winter. Now, if I was to say that to, my father, he also was a weather forecaster. He was trained weather forecaster also. So he would say it's impossible. So in the winter, the humidity, that type of humidity, is different than the humidity produced by heat, but it's there. You can feel it. It's incredible humidity all the winter long, but it's in a different construction as humidity and heat. So that humidity is accumulated in the atmosphere. And that humidity has been stored for a purpose. If that humidity is messed with at this time, and it's raining at this time, it has been raining for the last 3 or 4 days. It's here we are in Vrindavan in the middle, and in Orissa it's also raining. So what is happening is it's supposed to be the drying time. Yeah, the winter wheat and other products that are grown during the winter, they are supposed to be harvested now. They're not supposed to be getting rain. This is not the time for the rain to come. So it'll probably make them rot and destroy the crop. I don't know how much effect it'll have, but it could do that. But even worse than that, the heat that is coming up, April, May, June, July, August, that heat, before the monsoon's official coming, that heat can be mitigated by this water that was accumulated during the winter season. Well, it's disappearing. And you would have to be totally disconnected from nature not to notice that all of a sudden it should be already warm, but it isn't. It's so cool that I have to sleep with a wool blanket. If I leave the window open, I must sleep with a wool blanket and everything, just to keep from being cold. So you wake up, and I watched the moon go down. I could see the moon going down. Yesterday night. And I could see it easily. Nothing was in between. Sunset, nothing was in between. Just a small, just before the sun disappears, there was some clouds. And all of a sudden in the morning, it's like heavier clouds, but not like clouds that are cumulus clouds. Cumulus clouds are clouds that are like they're the friendly clouds. In the monsoons, if you see the cumulus cloud, you know that the monsoons are about over. But they're clouds that are like a fog that's a little higher. It's not like blocking my vision, but it's a little higher type fog. But it's still there, an inversion. Well, it appears, and then all of a sudden, around 12 o'clock, it's totally gone, and the heat from the sun starts coming in. And then again, after the night, no. Krishna is amazing, and he's setting up. I hope that we have any rain during the monsoons. I hope this isn't going to disturb the monsoon so much. But then the most amazing part is there is more water in our atmosphere than there are oceans on this planet. Understand? There's more water in our atmosphere than there are oceans. More. If Krishna wanted to, he could make the condition of rain to completely flood this place in an instant. But he has it in for them to duplicate this. I'm talking about this because for the scientists to notice it, it's one thing. But to duplicate it, out of their hand. Can't duplicate it. Not in its perfect way as it is right now. No duplication. They can examine and everything, but there's no way to duplicate it. And they're trying to duplicate it by weather control, but they're making mess. Because they can't make one drop. Indra can make sure that there's a lot of rain, but they can't make one drop. The only way that they can possibly control the rain is by moving it from one place to another. That's it. That's all. That is not making rain. That's stealing rain from someone and giving it more rain to another person. That's it. That's all they can do. They can make a hurricane turn in that way, but they didn't make the hurricane. They can give the conditions. No, it's just like, but they're thinking they're great, in their weather control. So here we are. Krishna is, for some reason, having it rain now. And I'll tell you, the farmers here are like shocked because this should not be happening. Yeah, this should not be happening. Well, this brings up the point, actually. The point of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And other books too, Yes. Boy, sorry, excuse me. I know it's late. It's almost 7 o'clock and I'm still struggling, but it happened to be a little bit late because 12 o'clock is when I put my head down. So it's always nice to have the Bhagavatam available here. Bringing to attention the calculation of time from the atom. This chapter brings us what is called the apparently separated condition. The apparently separated. That's the illusion. That is what is not in Krishna's existence. He has allowed it to separately manipulate things. Of course, he can control it and everything, not out of his control, but it is separately manifested. From eternal condition to what we call material condition, something has to be there to give an illusion of being separately manifested. That is like so incredible. That is your computer. So if one goes to the first verse of Ishopanishad, Om Purnam Adak Purnabhidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Okay? That is 01. I am in a human state. I am in a human state a perfect sine wave. A perfect sine wave. Beautiful, up and down. Perfect, most perfect sine wave. No divisions, actually. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Now, if I was in the stage of invoking the spiritual world, I could get a phone call to Krishna immediately. In other words, that mantra has gone farther than you can see, hear, feel. It has gone farther than the planets on this universe. It has gone farther than all the universes together, and it has reached Krishna. The pure devotee is totally connected. Perfect sine wave. No gaps. So the gaps are produced 01. But if you go to a history class, everybody is attentive. If you go to something like that, but literature, and everything. But if you go to a mathematics class, or if you hear mathematics, you start falling asleep. You know, it's like what's. But if it entails your whole existence, it makes you feel like maybe I should be a little bit more attentive. As I am, my mind, just the energy of my mind, it can, this is, Srila Prabhupada's also said, it can just like hit to the end of this universe. My mind can take me there. My mind can take me there, and if I develop the connection with my mind so much, I can be at the end of this universe. Now, if you were to tell the scientists that, they would say no. So I have my three-dimensional existence is three-dimensional, is even declared in Bhagavatam and everything, You got the intelligence, which is definitely faster. You got the mind, which is a little slower. And you got this material, gross existence, which is confining and slower and not able to go so far. So one would say, well, I'm mostly in connection with this third dimension, whereas the other two dimensions, they may give, I've even heard, this is the 10th dimension that we found. No, sorry, boys. Srimad Bhagavatam makes it explicit. There's only three. So now, in each one of those dimensions, the existence is there. Just like my existence is in this gross, the really gross existence. Others are in the existence living in the mind. Now, for the new scientists and everything, they say, this is the quantum theory. Well, you only got to the mind. You haven't got to the intellectual. They've come up with a very dangerous thing because they have understood that there's been many civilizations that comes up to this conclusion that the living in the quantum, their quantum is the mind, living in the quantum, if you are an observer, you can't totally observe because you are in a different dimension. So totally to observe and to describe and to get a Nobel Prize, you must be in that dimension, absent of the third dimension. So they said that they understand that there's many civilizations living in the two-dimensional that more than likely were in the three-dimensional before, but found out you could enter into the two-dimensional and have more power. But you cannot come back. That was their conclusion. You may be in a dimension where you can do things that are incredible, but you can't come back. So if that possibility is in my grasp, then it is already in me. And that's how it is. There is electricity in you that is accommodating for the three-dimensional existence. There is definitely electricity in you that is accommodating for the mind. And there's electricity in you that is accommodating for the intelligence. Some people put the intelligence lower than the mind. Some people, well, we're just talking about the higher and higher realms, whether you want to put intelligence this side or that side. I don't care. Higher and higher realms. And then after that, controlling everything is the false ego. That's like the covering that doesn't allow us to see the reality. So in me, it can be detected. So I can understand that light travels at a standard speed, but that standard speed depends on your dimension. If you are in another dimension, it's faster. And if you are in a higher dimension, it's even faster. So all of this is put together in a very perfect way to accommodate us as human beings. We can't see a difference, but this is the illusion. This has been put together to give a control. That I'm going to control you because I know you're going to do something rebellious. Actually, rebellious. So I'll control you so you can stay here and not be able to penetrate some higher thing. Because everybody wants to conquer everybody else. And one realm can conquer another realm. You know, higher realms can conquer. So now this is called analog. My existence that I am in, my speed of light that is affecting me the most, it's an analog with me. It's a continuous sine wave. If I go, and excuse me, if I go and take the position that okay, I want to be in this two-dimensional because I want to go to another universe, you know, or at least have the power. I want to have more power, right? Okay, so I have now disconnected myself from my human existence. I can't, in my human existence, I can quickly develop love of Godhead. I enter another dimension, so many difficulties will come. So to be able to do something and send my voice to you, this phone has a converter in it. It takes analog, which is a perfect sine wave, and it takes 0, 1 to like separate everything so they can send it on a wave to you so you can capture it on your phone. But you can't see, hear, feel this, that, and the other unless they take the digital, which was perfect, you know, as perfect as they can, take the digital and put it into analog, because the spectrum of your ears, of your eyes, and everything is limited. So, in a mechanical way, to connect with you, I have to convert. Now, you are not going to convince me that the conversion is a perfect analog sine wave. It can never be. The converter from digital to analog is a mess. But in this existence, I cannot detect the mess. But I'm using my brain. It is seeing, hearing, and feeling that it's a mess. It's a dot. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 1. It's totally disconnected. It's a mess. It can never duplicate human existence, the three-dimensional. So, the verse, Om Purnam, Purnam is 0. It's hard for the scientists to admit that these scriptures gave them the most valuable thing in the world, the 0. The Romans could feel, know, and everything, the danger. They saw a great danger in 0. So they didn't want to use 0 in their number system. Because you multiply by 0, and all of a sudden, this 0 swallows everything. No matter how big something is, if you multiply by 0, it swallowed everything. And if you divide by 0, it has also swallowed everything. It divided everything, and it still vanished. It's out of your grasp. So the Romans, they wouldn't even think of using the 0. So they put all these I's and these V's and everything. But if you had a bank account or a computer account, there'd have to be so many I's and Z's and V's and X's. You'd go mad, you know? Oh, this represents 10. Well, why don't you put the 0, you know? 1, 0, easier. They can't get away from it. But its function is so strong. It's the first verse in the Ishopanishad. This isn't an Ishopanishad class. I don't know how to give class so nicely. But it's the first verse. So you may say, oh, this is one of the Upanishads, and there are 18 Upanishads. No, it's not. Oh, well, why do you say that it's not? Because the other Upanishads may contain something that isn't in the same atmosphere as the Upanishad. The Sri Ishopanishad. We were chanting it every morning right after Mangalartik, because it is our protector, and what it contains is totally trying to just bring you up to the spiritual. And it refutes the impersonal concept too. It refutes it in its verses, that it's the impersonal concept is just the effulgence of the Lord, but you're not connecting with the personality. It just comes right out and says it. So it's not in the category of the other Upanishads. It's higher. So myself, all of a sudden, trying to construct 0, 1. There is never any point that there's nothing. There's always something. And then to say, okay, now I'm going to make this different than the 1. I'm going to make this 0. The condition of it is that it's different than the 1. That disconnection is going to help me so I can move the energy around and send it off to different places and everything like that. But all it does is create more illusion. And your mind and intelligence can see it, whereas my three-dimensional eyes and ears, they can't see the difference. My mind and intelligence is sitting there like shaking their heads. No, no. What you think that is not what it is. No, no, no. So you're creating a dysfunction between this analog of existence in the spirit, in the material three-dimensional world, and you're trying to go into a sphere absence of the 3-dimension, go into the 2-dimension. Can't do it. And if you were able to do it, you wouldn't be able to come back. Anyways, you wouldn't want to come back because there's so much facility in the 2-dimension. And there's so much more facility in the 3-dimension. I mean, in the 1-dimension. And there's unlimited facility when you get out of the false ego. But there it is. The word is used. False identification. False ego. I am, right now, I am limited to the 3-dimensional. And I'm going to be limited to the 3-dimensional unless I give up this 3-dimensional body and this 3-dimensional existence and relationship and so many other things. I would have to give it up to be into the 2-dimensional. I could not have it anymore. So this disconnection I'm liking it because I'm connecting with somebody. But I have to understand it and not be marveled at it and not have a desire, because I can't get away from my desire of conquering everything and making money. I got a desire, and you can send me some too. Okay, yeah. See, that is the problem. You're the uninvited person to a marriage. Uninvited. They're having a marriage and you want to get into it, but you're not really invited. And you're not qualified to be in that dimension. So when you don't know the ethnic living of that dimension. You don't have it. You don't have the ability to know how to live peacefully in that dimension. So you just go wild. Oh, I don't have to walk anymore. Now I can fly, and I can this and that, and I have so many powers. So it'll disrupt, like I'm reading, it'll disrupt this reading. I will not be able to come into this room, open up a book, and see some letters, and then read the letters. No, in another dimension, you may have facilities for some things, but you lose facility that you have here. And this facility here has been given to us to facilitate our ability to go back home, back to Godhead. So, because we are the guys that are, we're at the end of a cycle of yugas, so we're the flunkies. But they're pushing us through school. So at this moment, we're getting like, okay, it's all right. You're in that flunky class, and we want you to get out of this university or this universe. We want you to get out of this university or universe and progress. So it's all right. You can keep that thought, and we'll do something so you can get out of here. So the demigods are seeing this. Man, these guys on Earth, they're able to do something that I can't do in the realm of spiritual advancement. So what's the use of my abilities here in this dimension, higher dimension? Well, those guys down there, just by chanting Hare Krishna or doing something like that, they can match me. Not even match me, they can go further than what I can do. So it makes them a little bit envious. We're envious of what they can do, but actually they're envious of us. From the celestial planets, you can not go back to Godhead, but from this planet, I can pass by and make faces at the demigods and see you guys. Don't worry, you'll get a chance. Don't worry. But our chance to get out of here is involving seeing that there's no difference between the 0 and the 1. That's the parent division. And just to give a feeling of it, these advancements, the incredible advancements in, this science and everything, is only like fortifying the illusion. So don't glorify it. Think of it that, okay, thank you very much, Krishna, you gave us this, but it's not something that's only come now. It's not something that's only come now. Computers and everything, they start coming into existence as soon as somebody discovers electricity, because that's where it's at. As soon as the function of electricity is discovered in a civilization, then it gets more, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper into electricity. So this appearance of the computer, we could say some years back the computer started appearing and everything. That cycle began, and it'll definitely reach a peak, and it'll disappear. And it'll come back again and again and again and again and again and again. So it'll bring all of its difficulties, it'll bring. And all of its help, it'll also bring. But to give any glorification to this, don't do that. There is no 0, 1. There's only a 0. Om Purnam. That isn't even a verse in the Ishopanishad. It's the introduction verse. I want to introduce you to Krishna, and then after introducing you to Krishna, I want to describe this Ishopanishad. So, Om Purnam. I'm everything. Everything emanates from me. This is the translation. Everything is emanating from this Purnam. Everything is emanating from this Purnam. And everything that emanates from this Purnam is Purnam in itself. So I am Purnam in myself. I'm still connected with the 0, but I am 0 in myself, but in minute form. And although I am coming from Purnam, and Purnam has, given me my existence, that Purnam is always Purnam. Everything is always in him. Everything is within him. Not only cause of all causes, but even the causes are within him. Never detached. Purnam, 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 Purnam Abadaya. So we can use these vehicles and connect and with each other, but do not forget what we're using, and do not glorify these inventions that have. Why are they destroyed? Because they create trouble. That's what it is. And what is the trouble? Well, the person who has the latest computer becomes the richest man. And then the other is the struggle of, I'm going to get riches from him. I'm going to conquer him. And it's just a big fight. Fight to climb the stairs. The fight to climb the stairs. I can get up to the top of the stairs and out just by Hare Krishna, but they're fighting for the top of the stairs. And if there's any trouble that I'm giving them, they'll certainly eliminate me. So that's how it is. I want to eliminate all my difficulties, and you happen to be one of my difficulties, so I'm going to have to eliminate you so I can go higher. That's how it is. So it just becomes a heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier fight, and then it has to disappear. So the collapse of this age of computer has come in the cycle. You could say there's Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, but everything has a cycle. So everything has its Kali Yuga cycle. Everything has its Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. It has its own cycle. So this age of computer, and people with clean minds, there's many in the computer system that are clean minds and trying to advance also spiritually. They can see that, okay, there's the quantum theory, there's the theory of entanglement. I'm even touching somebody with my finger, I'm even touching somebody else in some other universe. That's how entangled we are. But what is that entanglement? That entanglement that is even within my grasp of my little finger and touching somebody else's little finger in another universe. That is what I haven't lost from Purnam. I've destroyed a lot. I've detached myself from Krishna in an enormous way, but I still have some connection with somebody because I did something that was in that realm of Purnam. And even if that entity is in a different universe, I'm still attached. So those are the innumerable strings that we are attached to. Some of those strings go to personalities that are lower within our existence, and some of them go to personalities that are higher than our present existence. Imagine just huge amount of entanglement. And how can we not be entangled? Because it has all come from Krishna, and I have come from Krishna. But it appears that to state something like that, maybe now people more than likely accept it and everything, but to state that, they'd lock you up. Oh, wait a minute, this guy's nuts. That he's in contact, he's seeing ghosts or something like that, But that's the reality. We are in contact. We have never come out of the Purnam. We can't come out of the Purnam. We can't separate 0 from 1. We can't do it. But we can certainly use the science and not be surprised when the whole thing collapses. If I was to tell you that there's more water in the atmosphere than there is water in all the oceans put together, Krishna can make it rain like mad, Yeah, Krishna can make it rain like mad. Or he can make it, in any of the elements, he can make it fiery like mad. And any humidity will just be gone. All humidity. And there's all over the world, the earth is cracking and everything because the humidity is going away. So, huge cracks and everything, the earth is just cracking. So more and more, the humidity is being stored in the atmosphere. And even that, under the earth, there's huge amount of water. Huge amount of water. And if a flood was necessary, it could come up like fountains and flood everything. No need for some clouds or anything like that. Just comes right out of the earth and comes up. And it does happen sometimes. Columns of water, yeah, that's the description in the Bible. The columns of water, it was coming in. It wasn't coming in just from the heavens. It was coming out from underneath and just emanating out. Yeah. So these functions can happen easily. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Because I take your time, but I'm not such a good guy because I'm taking your time so I can make advancement. Yeah. So your like button is essential for me. Yeah, because it can help me out. Your like button, share button, it's essential for me. I don't like this digital representation of me. This is not me. What I'm touching is me, but not what you're seeing is me. It's digital. And it is a horrifying duplication of what I am. Horrifying. And your mind can see it. And your intelligence can even see more. And you're not going to convince them that you're connected to me. You're not going to convince your mind and intelligence that you're connected with me. Never. Because they can see the separation. And it's disturbing for them. Yeah, it is disturbing to the mind and the intelligence. Because they don't have that substance. They don't have ether, air, fire, water, and earth. They don't have those substances. They may be made of it and everything, but your actual mind, the energy of the mind, is much faster than the energy that we find ourselves in with all these elements. And the intelligence is much, much faster than the mind. But even that isn't as fast as that point where false ego turns into real ego. That, in other words, if I'm seeing that there's such a incredible thing that can happen from going from the 8 elements to going to the mind element, and I'm fascinated by it, and I'm like having so much knowledge coming to me and so much exchange that I can't even digest it all, and you give so much glorification. But how much more glorification is it if you live in the intelligence? And how much glorification is it in the false ego? And how much more is it when you're in the real ego, real identity? It just can give you an insight in how incredible is that realm that is absent of the false ego. Anyways, I don't know if they can make a converter that can go to the intelligence and then the false ego and then to the real ego. That'd be pretty good, Make it even easier. I'm in the flunking grade, I'm the kindergarten flunker or garden school flunker, I haven't made it yet. Okay, goodbye.